Okay, thank you. Yes, I can see that now clearly. Thanks for that. Sorry about the delay, folks. One of the dangers, of course, of presenting last. Oh, I've gone. I've got a different picture of somebody on a chat. That's better. One of the dangers of presenting last, of course, is that everybody else has made a lot of points that you may hear repeated during this little discussion about Abergavenny story and about how we've made Abergavenny a vibrant destination. Next slide, please, Nell.
I'm sorry, folks. We're just going to have a fiddle. There we go. Okay, we're on track.
Okay, so when I started to think about that, I actually started to think about the complexity of all of the things that contribute towards making a place a vibrant, sustainable destination, and just I'll enlighten on most of these that you can see on here, but this is really what we feel is really important about Abergavenny. So next slide, please, Nell. We enjoy incredible transport links. We have a railway station, we have a vibrant bus station, we've got good transport links, we're connected via dual carriageway access via the A40, the A465, and there are links to the M4, M50 and M5. All of this means that the town is accessible, and if you were to look at a 50-mile radius of Abergavenny, then you're probably approaching an audience of about 2.5 million people, which is incredible. So we know that we are a tourist town and we attract a lot of tourism. And so being able to accommodate visitors means that we've got plenty of parking around the town, but it's incredibly close to the town centre. And as I say, people can access us by bus or by train, which gives a lot of opportunity for people to travel towards and into Abergavenny, and conversely out of Abergavenny to work. Next slide, please, Nell. So one of the things that we've been really working hard on in Abergavenny is the street scene. We're very fortunate in that, you know, listening to what people have said about the vibrancy of town centres, about 70% of our town centre properties are residential in the upper stories. About 25% of them are still run commercially as offices or storage, and about 5% of them are just vacant for one reason or another. So it's a pretty high percentage of people actually living in the town centre. All of the listed buildings in the town centre have a commercial premise attached to them in some form or other. We actually undertook pedestrianisation of the central business district. We took cars out, and that is from 10 a.m. in the morning till 4 p.m. When this was initially mooted, the traders were very much against it because they thought that they would lose trade because people couldn't drive in their cars. In fact, the opposite has been the case. They now don't want ever to go back to allowing cars into the central business district. So we've seen increased footfall. We've developed a cafe culture. We've got better accessibility. We've got street furniture. We've got incredible planting schemes around to make the place attractive. And the town council has actually taken on board a dedicated team to actually undertake daily maintenance, litter management, removal of graffiti and all of the usual things that despoil a really pleasant environment. Next slide, please, Nell. One of the big attractors, one of the hugest attractors, is the fact that we're a market town, historic market town. We have markets every Tuesday, Friday and Saturday as general markets. Then there are ancillary craft markets, flea markets, farmers markets, evening markets, seasonal markets. The Tuesday main market sees a massive footfall into the town. And the idea of creating a cafe culture and an identity for the town has really worked very well. And of course, we have the majority of the traders in the central business district are independent traders. So that actually gives a kind of uniqueness to the town as well. And we have incredibly low vacancy rates for properties within the town. So the business district is attractive, it's interesting, and it's not dominated by national chains. It's dominated by independent traders who actually bring some niche things. And again, the other thing is about how the town is branded and what the interest is in the town. Next slide, please, Nell. We have a huge amount of accommodation in the town, and that there are independent hotels. The one in the bottom left-hand corner is the Angel Hotel. That has been awarded on several occasions the best hotel in Wales. But there are plenty of choices of accommodation, plenty of hotels, large choices of bed and breakfast and guest houses, lots of Airbnb and holiday properties, and there's even campsites, bunkhouses and hostels available nearby. And the other thing that we've done, which is in connection with the Brecon Beacons National Park, the Town Council and Monmouthshire County Council, is to maintain a tourist information centre which is situated in the town hall. I was amazed this summer to spend a holiday in North Wales and go to Porthmadog and not being able to access a tourist information centre, which I thought was a huge mistake, especially if you are basing your economy on tourism. Next slide, please. One of the things that has put Abergavenny on the map is the Abergavenny Food Festival, which has been running for over 20 years now. It had very humble beginnings. It was a couple of local farmers who wanted to actually show the value and quality of local produce. And the first festival had 280 visitors. We now have upwards of 30 to 40,000 visitors coming to the festival. It's recognised nationally and internationally, and it actually stamped Abergavenny as a food destination. But it's not the only festival. We have Cycling Fest, a part of the national series of cycling events, which is covered by S4C and Channel 4. And then slightly small events, but nevertheless just as important, the Abergavenny Steam Fair and the Steam Rally and the Shire Horse Show. And burgeoning on the back of those are festivals which are growing and being promoted locally. There's an annual arts festival, there's an annual writing festival. And of course, we are very closely linked to Hay Festival and the Green Man, which is just down the road. So we benefit from being very close to those festivals in terms of people using the accommodation in Abergavenny and the services in Abergavenny to enable them to visit those festivals. And that kind of brands the town as well. Next slide, please. Abergavenny has been a settlement since pre-Roman times. There was a Roman fort here, and we have an incredible collection of listed buildings, most of them repurposed, and the middle one on the top layer was the old King Henry VIII Grammar School. That's now an arts centre. The Borough Theatre is in the town hall. The Angel Hotel is a listed building, which is first in the middle tier, left-hand side. The centre of the middle tier is the Tithe Barn, which is now a very vibrant Welsh centre. The right-hand side of the middle layer is the Baptist Chapel, which is both a gallery and a performance space, and the basement is a vibrant cafe and shop. And so all around the town, we're proud of our heritage. We have blue packs all around the town providing information about the history of the town. And of course, we have a Norman castle as well, just like Carmarthen. But the town itself is proud of its heritage. There's a well-established history society. We've got 2 theatres, the Borough and the Melville theatres. We've got an independent cinema. There's an annual Eisteddfod. We hosted the national Eisteddfod a few years ago. And there's a plethora of local drama groups, choirs, brass. We have a town brass band. And we are one of the few provincial towns to have a very successful symphony orchestra. So the fact that those listed buildings are still part of the fabric and culture of the town is something that contributes to the vibrancy and the interest, not just for residents, but for visitors alike. Next slide, please. Is that? Oh, that's it. Sorry. The whole thing about this then is actually how do you keep the environment of the town interesting, and the town council actually plays a very active role in this, but we are supported by amazing amount of voluntary groups who actually work in the town. So we have there are 55 volunteers in Keep Abergavenny Tidy who regularly go out litter picking. Some of our key environmental areas, like the beautiful garden at Linda Vista and the beautiful gardens in Bailey Park, they are maintained by volunteers. The community orchard is maintained by volunteers. And then our wonderful water meadow down on the River Usk is maintained both by Monmouthshire County Council, but by a group of conservationists called the Friends of Castle Meadows, who are actually, as you can see in the top left-hand slide, creating green corridors, links between the copses on the meadows, and a picture there of them removing Himalayan balsam, which is an invasive species. The top right-hand corner is the town team, and these are with some of the councillors. The town team work 5 days a week, actually maintaining the town and working throughout the 6 wards of the town. And the result of all of this community effort and the design for environmental improvement and the planting resulted in us obtaining a gold award from Wales in Bloom. Okay, next slide. No, and I said the food festival then gave us a USP. So the town has this wonderful identity as being a food culture, and we have the most amazing restaurants, going from Michelin-starred restaurants with celebrity chefs, right through to you know, a street culture of street food and cafes like they have in France, and we have all kinds of cuisine represented in the town. So there's a huge amount of choice, but it's all of high quality. I mean, there are a couple of kebab shops, and there are a couple of fish and chip shops as well to cater for every need. But generally, you can see from the pictures that there's a degree of gentrification in the food outlets. And again, that attracts in. We've got an artisan bakery, we've got an artisan patisserie, we've got award-winning butchers, 2 of them, and we take a pride in the local produce which is available from the weekly markets. There are coffee shops and tea rooms everywhere, and outdoor dining, which was with us before the pandemic, but got a huge boost during the pandemic, has remained and is a major feature of the town. Something that Ben Reynolds mentioned about how you make a town really attractive to people and make it somewhere interesting to come and visit. Next slide. So that's, gives you an idea of the town and the interventions that we've made, and the kind of street scenes, the plantings, and this has been a culmination of really important work between the county council, the town council, the various community groups, and some of the businesses, but not all. Unfortunately, Abergavenny doesn't have a chamber of trade, so that was what, and we're not a bid. So going forward, if we could strengthen the links between the business community and what we've already established, then we'd be unstoppable. But I think a lot of the things that have been brought up during this seminar are actually put into practice in Abergavenny, and I can tell you they work, and we're going forward. And I hope that other people will look at these. You can see from our streetscape that we have fine collection of Georgian, Victorian, and even in some places some Tudor buildings, all well cared for, all well presented, and it makes a huge difference to the residents who have a pride in place. And it makes a huge difference because it's attractive to visitors who want to come and stay and wander around these very friendly streets that are pedestrianised. So, and it's easy to get to us.